Number 112 in the Radiance range, and the second part of this Patrick Tam set is My Heart Is That Eternal Rose. And after seeing Nomad going into this movie, I was expecting some kind of whirlwind romance type movie, of which I do get, but it is definitely a ballet of bullets as well. We have two characters at the start here, which say Romeo and Juliet, our kind of lovers that are going to be torn apart. They have this nice little relationship, although you can feel there's a little bit of tension in amongst it. And when Romeo is pulled into doing a job that he kind of doesn't want to do, he finds himself on the wrong side of gangsters and fleeing the country. The young woman Juliet has to sell her soul to a mob boss, becoming his moll, just to make herself safe and to protect her father. And this jumps a number of years as we find this woman who has made some sort of life, but not like the kind of life that she was looking forward to or promised at the start of the movie, and is just trying to make the best of it. Just getting by each day, making sure her father survives another day.
我睇低你，俾個機會你跟我，你認為點？
And when Romeo comes back into the scene as a hitman who's almost lost everything that made his life purposeful, he finds that that connection is still there. That once in a lifetime romance has been rekindled, and he will do anything he can to free her from her bonds of slavery. Cue mayhem and action set pieces that are so vibrant and kinetic and filled with blood and quick and just feel vicious. They just light up the screen, but they're always framed in this wonderful photography. And from the two films, the one thing I've walked away with Patrick Tam is he is a master at creating a mood and a sense, and framing is just perfect. Now, he shows a good sense of action, a little bit in Nomad, but here he gets to run rampant and really do some fun sequences here, including the Mexican standoff at the end of the film, where blood and bullets are going to cover the screen. I was so surprised with this film because I felt it was going to get more of a romance rather than triad gangs battling against each other, with a little bit of romance flung into it. I love the relationships we have here, not just between Romeo and Juliet, but there's a third member, a third wheel, who really kind of likes Juliet but understands his place within this tryst, within the three of them here. And it's nice to see that kind of character who is honest, who's trustworthy, who understands that he has these feelings but he cannot really pursue them because of the situation he is in, but is willing to push aside what he wants to make sure that someone else is happy. Now, it's that kind of self-sacrificing character that I believe brings a lot of heart and emotion into this film.
見到你好，我開心啫。最緊要係你安全。
你對我咁好，我都唔知點多謝你。
你保重。
Because there are some one-note characters, particularly in the form of the triad bosses when they come into the movie. They do feel one-note, and to be honest, for an antagonist, is kind of what you want in these movies, someone to really rally against. So having that emotional connection with the young man who wants but understands he can't have is a really nice into the film, and watching the rest of the action play out. I thought My Heart Is the Eternal Rose was terrific, and whereas Nomad didn't really have a strong narrative plot point, My Heart Is That Eternal Rose certainly does. It still has the wonderful framing, the way the characters move around the set is terrific, the build-up of action set pieces are wonderful, and the execution is even better, and it just turned out to be a pleasing film that I really enjoyed. In fact, both of these films could have been released separately and I would have been just as happy to pick them both up. But getting them in a double pack is just absolutely wonderful. Let's dive into the disc of My Heart Is That Eternal Rose and see the extras. Here we are, and the disc of My Heart Is That Eternal Rose. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have an audio commentary by Frank Jeng. Next, we have John Sham. In this interview, producer John Sham discusses his work with Patrick Tam and My Heart Is That Eternal Rose, filmed in 2019 and edited by Radiance in November 2024. And this runs at 9 minutes 3 seconds. Talking about how Tam titled the film, how it was most definitely a love story first and foremost, and the kind of unsure nature of where the original story came from, and how they started to shoot before the script was even finished on this one. Next, we have Patrick Tam, Forgotten New Wave Auteur. In this newly created video essay, scholar David Desser looks at the Hong Kong New Wave and Patrick Tam's place within it, created exclusively for Radiance in November 2024. And this is 16 minutes 59 seconds. Great visual essay focusing a lot on the New Wave that started in Hong Kong just in the late 70s, the people that kind of drove it and how they expanded that subgenre, why it wasn't really a great export for bringing the films out around the world, and how it was definitely in Tam's case driven by his love of Godard and how he would dedicate certain films to him. Next we have CID Dawn, Noon, Dusk, Night. Again, Patrick Tam directed this 1976 episode of the series CID, which presents 4 typical cases in the day and life of a cop. Now this is 50 minutes 24 seconds. There is some very familiar music used within this, and it is another great extra. I love that there was another one of these included on these discs. I wasn't expecting it, but I loved it when it appeared. And the trailer, and that's the extras for My Heart Is That Eternal Rose. So there we have it. My Heart Is That Eternal Rose is out now. I would suggest picking this set up. It's wonderful, and I want to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comment box below. As always, there's more content up here. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.